Yeah. Welcome to show 230 with yours truly, the Hippie Pastor. As you may have read in the title of this show, number 230, I am not a racist, but what? I am not a racist, but I don't take shit from nobody. I don't care and give a shit if you're black, if you're white, if you're brown. I take no shit from nobody, and it wasn't my fault. I wasn't even there. So don't throw that shit at me, because I'll throw it right back in your face. I love my race, and you should love your own. Okay? Did you know that Jesus Christ was a racist? He was kind of racist. You know, we all know that Israel, ancient Israel back in the Old Testament days, they slaughtered and killed any tribe that didn't worship their gods. So not only racism, but religion, both were designed to divide humankind. To divide humankind. You're not my religion, I need to kill you. Or you're not my race, etc. All these evil things that were done in the name of racism. And Jesus Christ, having been brought up within the Jewish tradition and the Jewish religion since he was taught, was also told that Israel was superior race, superior nation, superior spiritually to all other nations and tribes and races, and enough to want to kill them. And until, if you will read in Matthew 10, I believe it's at the beginning of Matthew chapter 10, where Jesus says, go not, he recommends his disciples, his apostles, says, go not into the way of the Gentiles, or into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's favoritism. That sounds like favoritism to me. Go not to the Samaritans or into the house of the Gentiles, but go only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Excuse me. Later, Jesus became enlightened and started hanging out with Samaritans and sinners and Gentiles and heathen and hookers and street people and non-religious people, non-Jews. They even the Pharisees called Jesus, say now we that you are a Samaritan and hast a devil. Okay? So, but at first he was just as racist as they were, but then he found out and realized that God's chosen people are not Israel. God's chosen people are everybody, including Israel, but nobody's special here. I don't care if you're from Australia, you're from Ethiopia, you're from wherever, Sweden, you're from Chile, you're from Puerto Rico, what? They say, they speak perfect English. Some of these Puerto Rican, New York Ricans, they speak perfect English, but when they say the word of the country, they say it in Spanish. They say, oh, well, it's been a long time since I've been to Puerto Rico. Why can't they just say Puerto Rico? Talk Spanish or talk English. Don't mix both. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a racist, but I don't take shit from nobody. Okay, because it wasn't my fault. Now, as the hippie pastor, I must tell you, the hippie revolution, think back, or ask your granddaddy. The hippie revolution was against racism. It was incredible. It was a time on the planet where the hippies wanted to do away with racism. One love, like Bob Marley said, one love, okay? One color, the color of love. Bob Marley said, one love. No more racism. That was what the hippie revolution was all about. That's why it was, sort of put down and destroyed, system. Huh. But we need more love. That's what the world needs, more love. Okay, you know what the opposite of love is? Fear. Fear is the opposite of love. If you fear something, it's because you don't love it. So like if white people are afraid of black people, it's only due to a lack of love. Like if you're afraid of, let's say, a pit bull, excessively afraid, it's okay to be somewhat afraid, but excessively afraid, the pit bull will take note and he'll think, oh, this must be an enemy because he's afraid of me, and he might do something to me to protect himself because he's afraid of me. So I better attack him first. So fear, even with dogs, with animals, with lions, lack of fear is love, and love is the most powerful force on the earth. So to do away with racism, guess what? We need more love. I'll say it again. We need more love. We need a clean heart. Okay? Now, since more or less it's been, of my opinion, around the 90s, right, 1990s, that in America, women, white Anglo, Caucasian women started to take more of a masculine role, and consequently, the white men started to try to work on their feminist side, bring out their feminist side so they could, they could hang together with their more masculine woman and then bring out a feminine side. They were exploring these things. I'm not saying that necessarily they were gay, but it was just a thing. But within the black community, that pretty much, generally speaking, that did not exist. I mean, men were still macho, I'm a macho man, right? The man was a macho, the women were women. But the white people started exploring this more, especially upper class, upper middle class white people, couples, exploring the men's feminine side, and the women's, more like a man. I'm the man. I'm going to work, honey. Don't forget to wash the dishes and feed the babies. Change the diapers too while you're at it. Which is not bad. It's not wrong to share in the responsibilities of the home. But I don't know. I think if maybe white men were afraid of black men because of this, that black men are more macho, and so there is a fear. Okay, if you want to be honest, generally speaking, a lot of white people are afraid of black people because of their aggressiveness and their attitude and stuff. Rebels, and they're hey, they got something to complain about, and so and they're with the macho. So sometimes I notice white people are afraid of upper class. So we're in upper class. Hey, don't look at me. I'm lower class. I grew up with the brothers and mixed neighborhoods with the homies. They were on the other side of the railroad tracks, but I was only half a block away from the railroad tracks. So I had any black friends when I was a teenager and shit. So I didn't grow up to be afraid of black people. Some of my best friends were black. Okay, and then being a hippie and coming from the hippie generation, some of my idols were black. Starting with Jimi Hendrix. Should I go on? So, so I say, it doesn't really matter. I'm just talking history, but what does matter is we need to pray for more love in our hearts. That was the whole message of the hippie generation. Have more love in your heart. And there's no room for love and fear in the same heart. Hey, there's good black people, just like there's evil black people. There's good white people, just like there's evil white people. You heard correctly. So, don't generalize. Don't stigmatize, whatever that means. Just sounds interesting. And just have an open heart, man, because there's beautiful people out there in every color. And let's go back to the hippie revolution, where all we need is love, and let's make love and not war, and let the world be filled with love, okay? And can't buy me love and all that good shit. I love you. Peace out.